Hi, students of Business 1360 Software Apps for Business. Um, I'm just finished grading your Word Case 2 assignments and wanted to just go over some feedback with you, just as you're getting familiar with this feedback process. So let's see. The first thing that I want to emphasize to you is the grade number that I know that you see in pause, and it's up in that little upper right hand corner. It's a notification, and you click on it and you immediately see something like, I don't know, 18 out of 20, or I don't know, 80%, but it shows you the number, right? And a lot of students stop there. And in fact, sometimes they get upset there and they email immediately and they say, "Why did you deduct these points? I don't understand why I don't have these points." Well, that's why I provide very, very detailed feedback to you. And I want to make sure that you know how to review that feedback. And I think it's especially important that you review that feedback in our hybrid class. We have only 90 minutes together a week. That means that we have to talk about schedules. It means we have to talk about the tools that you're going to use in the course. And then, of course, we try to get into the content, but we need to talk about feedback as well. And so videos like this are designed to fill that gap for you. Of course, not to mention all the resources that you have, with your textbook for the content. But, it's important not to just look only at that number. So I want to talk to you how to read those comments. Maybe you have already done that, but I want you to do that very consistently. I want to discuss with you the score sheet that I provide along with the comments. Sometimes I provide pictures. Now, not always, but I want you to see how to look at those pictures if there are any. And sometimes, depending on what I'm trying to show you, I provide a video such as this one. It really depends on what I'm trying to explain. There is that sometimes I can just type a note. Maybe you did not provide, use proper capitalization in your file name. That's an example of something that I can say in a one-word sentence. Sometimes there is spacing. That's a great example. There might be a spacing error. Do you see how you still have space after this or space after that? That is something that can often be shown in a picture. It's the picture is worth 1,000 words. Sometimes things get a little bit more complex, and I can see that there may be a misunderstanding. You think you applied it, maybe, okay, here's an example that we actually discussed in class. Maybe you applied to the title the proper font, the proper size, you set the size correctly. Maybe you even applied the proper shadow, and I mark it wrong. And you're saying, but I did all of these things. But you didn't save it as a style, or maybe you did save it as a style, but you did not apply that style to the title. So I can see how that's confusing, because from your perspective, you say, I created this style, the text looks the way that it's supposed to look, but you may not be able to see how the style was not applied. So that is just a kind of random example of where I might use a video to explain. Now, I don't do all of these in all situations. It depends on the feedback that each student needs. And I'm going to show you this. And then I just want to talk to you about some tips for success. If you find an error or problem in the instructions, email me. In this particular assignment, only one student emailed me and said that gift template is no longer available. And, that's the fun of teaching with internet access, because Microsoft apparently, Microsoft has started doing something in the last maybe year and a half where your computer is updated, and they apparently removed one of those templates that's from the assignment in your book. Obviously, I'm not going to penalize you for something like that, but I would like to know. So as you encounter that type of thing, don't hesitate to reach out to me before the assignment due date. Several of you, although only one student emailed me, and that was really, like, I think right before, like hours before the due date, and I know I didn't see it until after the due date. Several of you did put in your comment box, which is great, when you submitted the assignment, hey, this template is missing. And I appreciate that note, I really do. But what if the situation was that there was just a different way to do it, or there was maybe you misunderstood? Then you've deprived yourself of the opportunity for me to point you in the right direction. So just, a little heads up there. Don't be afraid to email me. For things like that, I can help. Now, if it is something like the system is broken, my IT lab is broken, then you email me, but I will point you to the 1-800 number for my IT lab because I don't have the ability to fix that. So you see the difference there? Okay. Verify that you have submitted all the required files. We mentioned that in class. I want to emphasize that again. In the assignment instructions, when you scroll down to the bottom, which is really where you are right before you submit your files, I have recapped exactly what you should submit and use that as a checklist. Unfortunately, not just with this case, but with the previous case, I did see where things were not submitted. In some cases, there were not enough files submitted. In some cases, the same file was submitted multiple times. So let's just say there was 4 files required. The same file was submitted 4 times. And I think it's just it's nervousness, and I understand that. So I'm trying to show you it's nervousness and it's tiredness, and I understand that. So I'm trying to make sure that you have that information. So use that as a checklist. And when I say submitted 4 times, now that I recall that, it was 3 times, and the extensions were different, but it was the same file. So it was like .doc, .docx, and .pdf. And so it felt like submitting all the files, and I really think, no one should be offended by this, because I think I understand the mindset in that it felt like submitting the correct work. But I think if you use that list of files that I provide you as a checklist, that will keep you on the straight and narrow. We all make mistakes and we all get confused on various things. And so I'm trying to provide as many ways that I can throughout this course to help you avoid those mistakes, which do cost points, right? So, I've taught this a long time, and so I do anticipate some of the mistakes, which is why I have so many constructs in place to support you in that way. All right, and then let's see, be sure that you're submitting the file that contains the work that you want to submit. Unfortunately, that does happen also, and did happen last week and this week, where just unfortunately submitted the wrong file. That happens sometimes. You save the file to your desktop, then you save it to your flash drive, and then you decide to create a folder on your flash drive, and so you save it a 3rd time, and you can't really fully remember which one you were working on. And so when you upload the file, as it turns out, it's not the correct, it's not the most recent one that contains your work. And unfortunately, then you don't give me the material that I need to grade. So those are just 3 tips for success, kind of things I want to point out to you, because people make mistakes, and if I can help you avoid those, that's what I want to do. Alrighty, so let's go back to reading the feedback, because I think that's the most important thing. And so here I am, and I'm logged into Pause. And I also want to explain that I am logged in as a demonstration account. It says student Z __ J McGrory. This is not a real student. There is no grade. There is nobody on the roster who corresponds to this. This is an account that I use for exactly this type of thing as a demonstration. In fact, many of the faculty at Southwest have these types of accounts for exactly this reason. So I don't want anyone to think that somebody is getting an unauthorized grade, or that someone's personal information is being shown. Okay, I respect you, and I would not do that to you. I would not want that done to me. So, anyway, and I have the integrity not to just award grades in something like this. So that has been confusion in other semesters, and so I want to make sure that everyone understands that now. So I'm going to go up here to assessment, and I'm going to start out as assignment. And here is our, oops, that was in class. Let's see. Let me scroll down here. Pause and ebook. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Here's the one we just completed. Pause and ebook Word Case 2. So this is the one that I'm giving you feedback on. And I see over here that I have one submission and two files. And the first thing I want to point out to you about this is that I can click on this and I can see the files that I have submitted. If you submit your work multiple times, for example, you submit your school file, and as soon as you submit it, you realize that that was the wrong file, and you submit something else, or you realize you forgot something, it's okay. As long as you are before the due date, submit it again. I only grade the most recent version of the work. Now, that being said, if you submit your work and it's perfect, and then you change your mind and you say, I think something was messed up, and you submit another file and it turns out to be the wrong file. You know, sometimes people, as they're working on campus, will go ahead and upload something into the Dropbox. And so there may be 3 or 4 or 5 submissions. I do not go back and look at every single submission trying to determine which one would give you the best grade. That's just a lot of grading on my part, and it's a little bit just too much work. But what I do is I do look at the most recent file. And that's part of why I point this out to you, because if you're nervous and you're concerned that maybe you submitted the wrong file, or you just want that peace of mind that comes from checking that you submitted the correct file, then you can go to this file and click on it and save it, right? Okay. So you see where I saved some of y'all's work there, but anyway, so you can save that to your hard drive or to your flash drive, and you can view it. You know, that's also nice if you were working on campus and you want to upload it. Now you're working at home and you want to download it. So it gives you a lot of opportunities, but whatever you are most comfortable with. And that's what you have to do, is you have to kind of make your decisions to do what you're most comfortable with. But I did want to show that to you. I'm going to go back to assignments. And so again, we were looking at that. Now, I see that I have some feedback and that I have not read that feedback. And before I do, I want us to look up here at the bell. And you see how the bell has the red dot, and that means I have some kind of notification. And sometimes when I look in this notification, see how it says, you know, Word Case 2, your grade is B. Word SLO pretest, your grade is 5. And this is just not enough information. Okay, it is a very quick peek at your grade, but it does not offer you the detailed feedback. And I try to spend a lot of time to make that feedback clear to you. So please know that that's not it. I'm not just saying, hey, it's a B, hey, it's a 8, hey, it's a 3 or whatever. You know, I would not do that. So, okay, so you see that. Instead, I encourage you to come down here. Oh, that was in class. I'm sorry, that's in class. Let me go back down here. Here's Word Case 2. And here it says I have feedback. That is not read yet. So I'm going to click on that. All right. At the top, I will provide a note to you. I will try to summarize what I thought was the main problem perhaps with your work, just to kind of help you see, when you first have that shock, why did I make a 10 out of 20? Maybe you forgot to submit a file. And if that's the case, I'll put right up there, goodness, the file you submitted was great, but you forgot to submit a file, something like that. So I will try to summarize that. I'll also tell you that there is a scorecard below that shows the points awarded for each task, and whenever points are deducted, there's a note given next to the task. So this is the scorecard, and here it is for Word Case 2. And scorecard is just really a fancy way of saying, I'm going to show you what is being graded. I'm going to show you how many points you could have earned for that, accomplishing that particular task, and I'm going to show you the score that you earned. Now, hopefully you were looking at this feedback for word case 1, right? Now here we are with word case 2. I'll do this again for word case 3, for word case 4, and again as we continue throughout the semester, Excel case 1, Excel case 2. This process and the tools and the support that I'm providing you is very repetitive. You know, we are going through cycles of this with the feedback. And so that's the organization of the course. So here, oops, get my mouse working here. Here, you know, we'll just look at this first task, open a blank document, save it with this name, where last is the student's last name, first is the student's first name, and the .docx is appended by Microsoft Word. I also provide, so there's the step, I also provide the page number in the book that explains, you know, that you were supposed to complete this. Now, for something like doing a save as, you probably don't need to look at the book, but let's go down here. I'll come back to that comment. What if when you get to this step, vertically center, you know, the page, change the page color and add the watermark, and you say to yourself, really? You know, I can't even remember that. How do I do that? What you can do is open your ebook to this page 199 and through 200. You can review the steps. More importantly, you can watch that little video, short video, that's going to show you exactly how to do it. So this is about that feedback that you need to continue the learning. All right. Now, a couple things here. I did say whenever points are deducted, a note is given next to the task. And so you were seeing some of the notes. Here, there was a formatting error. I should have applied heading style 2, and perhaps I did not do that. So I could have earned 1 point for that, and I got 0 points. I hope that you noticed that these are all low-risk tasks, because if you miss just one task, that is not going to fail you for the course, okay? These are 20 points, and I try to distribute that, across various tasks. And I do just say, the task was not completed. As I go through now, again, some of you said the template for the gift card certificates was missing. Indeed, it is. You're absolutely right. And I have a note in my template here that says points were awarded because this template is no longer available from Microsoft. This was 193. I say through 195, almost 194. It was really just a couple steps, and so just a small part of the assignment. So no problem there, Then here let's just say I ran into some trouble as well, and I'm just noting that these steps were not completed. What you see at the very, very bottom here is your total points, 16 out of 20 points. And so indeed you see that that is your score. Now, in some cases, as I indicated, I want to give you additional feedback. So I have 2 examples here, and I can download all those examples. But one is a picture, and I can just click on that picture. It wants to save that. Let me pause this for a minute. Okay, so I'm going to review. So I can resume. I'm going to click on this example. I've saved it there. I'm just going to save it again over the top of that. And I'm going to open that. I'm going to open that. Why is it telling me I have insufficient permissions? Resume. Oh, maybe it wasn't finished. Is that? Oh, I can't save over the top of it, maybe. Oh, wow. Okay. Let me pause again. I'm sorry to pull that up. Maybe it was just slow because as soon as I paused the video, it opened. So this might be an example of a picture that I would provide you where I try to show you the picture. Again, a picture is worth 1,000 words in this example. I try to provide the solution when it's relevant. Sometimes I will zoom in on a particular part of the picture. Maybe you were missing a title over here. Maybe you were missing bullets. You can here see some things with shading and the watermark and that type of thing. So again, just an example of a picture. Okay, I don't know what that's about. Sometimes I will provide a video for you. So let me see if I can download this video. Now, videos are large files, so depending on your internet connection speed, that could take some time to download, but there it is.
This is a very brief sample video, just so that I can demonstrate to you what a video is like when I attach it to be used as feedback. I might explain the solution file, I might compare it to your work, I might review the scorecard with you. But this is just an example that I'll use in explaining to you how to review your grades. Thank you.
So there you go. And the important thing here is that you're seeing that as you're reading the feedback, that if I've provided a picture or video for you, that it will be down here at the bottom. And of course, once again, you see the files that you submitted. So if you want to look at your work again, you have it readily available to you, and you can just open that. So done. All right, so that's the important thing that that you see when in terms of your feedback. And I do want to show you one more way to look at your feedback. So let's just briefly recap, and of course you can rewind the video so that you see the steps again. We came into this under assessment, and then we went to assignments, and that is what allowed us to come back to our assignment, to look at our files submitted, and then to review the feedback. And you see that now it indicates that the feedback was read. Another way that you can view your feedback is you can go to assessment, you can go to grades, and you will always be able to see all of your feedback under grades. Don't forget to ignore anything that says dropped. Ignore that, because dropping a grade is really relevant at the end of the semester. And this is pause trying to show you, what it thinks it's going to drop. I have issue with that already, because why wouldn't it drop the 0 here, right? So anyway, so we're not going to worry about that. Here's where, I posted feedback for case 1. Here's where, or actually for the in class, and I gave you the link to the UJA video. So there, that is our in class feedback. Notice that I'm scrolling down. So important. Scroll down. See this? Scroll down. Oh, what just happened? I clicked on something. Oh, did I go backwards? I'm sorry. Okay. Keep scrolling down. Here's my word case 1 feedback. And see that you see the scorecard. You see where, there's a message if points were deducted. That way you know what I did not see. So if you think I graded something erroneously, you can say, I did put that footer in. Let me show you. Now, you can't show me on a file that you bring from your USB drive. I need to see what the work that was submitted into the system, because that is what I have to grade, okay? Here's word case 2. So this is very long because the feedback is quite detailed, and this is just another way for you to view that. One thing I will point out is that you do not see the link to the picture or to the video, right, that I attached as feedback. And so in this particular case, you do need to go to assignments and then look at the feedback by going through assignments. So that's the important part if you go through in this particular way. Okay? Thank you very much for your time. I hope this message was helpful. This is all about supporting you and providing you the feedback that you need. I hope you are listening to these videos, because our 90 minutes in class is just so quick that I do need you to, to follow this and to receive this feedback. Thank you so much.